Welcome to this lecture. And in this lecture, we are going to be discussed about the variables and its type in the Java. A variable is a container that holds the values that are used in the Java program. Every variable must be declared to use a data type. For example, a variable could be declared to use one of the 8 parameter data types like byte, short, int, long, float, double, character, or boolean. Each variable in Java has a specific type which determines the size and the layout of the variable's memory, the range of the values that can be stored within that memory, and the set of operations that can be applied to the variable. You must declare all variables before they can be used. These are the some types of the variable like static variable, instance variable, method local, and method parameters, block variables. So now we just come to the example of this variable. So here in the program body, I just write static and then I just define the integer. So integer is static and static is variable here. So variable value is 1. Now I just write the integer and then here I just write instance variable. So this is our instance variable and the instance variable which is equal to the value of 2. Now I just write public and then void method name, and this is our method name, and here the parameters are int and method. Now here I just write parameters and then I just start my program body. Now here I just define one integer which is the method, and our method here is local. So local is a variable here and the value of this variable is 3. Now I just define my if statement. So here I just write if and the value is true. So here the int block variable. So this is our fourth type of variable which is the block variable. Now you can see here first of all I just define the static variable which is a value of 1. Then I just give the integer value to my instance variable. This is the second type of the variable. Then I just define the method name, which is a fourth type of variable. So here I just define the public void method name and then the parameters. And then I just define the method local variable and the fourth name number I just define the block variable. Now I define what is a static variable. These variables are declared at the top level. You can see these are declared at the top level. They begins their life when first class loaded into memory and ends with the class is unloaded. As they remain the memory till class exists. So these variables often called class variable. These variables are having highest scope. That is, they can be accessed from any method block in the class. When no explicit assignment made while declaration, they are initialized to default value depending on their types. Now we just see the definition of the instance variable. These are also declared as a top level variable. They begin their life when object or an instance of the class created and ends with the object is destroyed. So this variable R ends when the object is destroyed. Each copy of these variables belong to an object, same as a static ones. They initialize to the default value depending on their types. They are having less scope as compared. They are assist only within the instance method of blocks. Now we just see the example of this um, definition of this method local variables or a method parameters. Method local variables are declared anywhere inside the method. Their life is started point they declare and initialized and end with the method completes. These variables are not assigned any default value as in case of static and instance variable. Therefore, they must be initialized with when declared or later but before assessing using in a expressions, otherwise compiler will complain. Now we just go to the another example of this Java variables. Now here I already create one another class with the name of the variable one. So here our this example, here we add the two numbers. So now I just write public static and void main. Now here I just write string and then arguments. Now it's a string is a capital here. So now here I just define the integer. So integer a is equal to 10. Then integer b which is equal to 10. Then I just write int c which is equal to a plus b. And then I just write system dot, so it's in system dot out and then print line. So print line, we just print C and close our code here. So I just save this code and execute our program. So run as a variable 2. So our answer on the terminal end is 20 here. Now we just go to the another example. So here I just click on default new and create a new class. So here I just write variable and variable is 2 dot java. So I just finished this one. So now in this example we just vending our variable. So here I just write public and then static void, and void is a main here. Now I just write string and then I just write arguments and then execute our block of code. So it says static here. Now I just write int a is equal to 10 and then I just write float value. So float which is equal to a. Now I just write system dot out dot print line, and then I just want to print which is a, and then I just write system and system dot out, and then here I just write print line and then float value. Now I just execute this. So we have the two answers here, which is one with system dot out dot print line which is 10, and then we have the float value. What we give the answer is 10.1. Now we just go to the another example of this variable. So here I just create one another class which is variable and variable 3 dot java. So here this example is for type casting. So now here I just write public and static void main and then string and arguments. Now I just write float and float f is equal to 10.5 f, and then so it's a float, and now I just write int a which is equal to integer and then I just write f. So int a is equal to f is a compiler time error. when we just compile this, so it is our compile time error. Now I just write system dot out, and then here I just write print line, which is f, and then I just write system dot out dot print line, and here I just write a. I just save this code and execute it. So we have the two answers here. First one is in float value, which is 10.5, and then the value is 10. Now we just go to the another example of this variable. So variable 4 dot java. Now here I just write public static void, and the void is main, and then here I just write a string and arguments. So this example is variable overflow. So now here we just overflow our variable. So integer a, which is equal to 130, and then here I just write byte value. So byte b, which is equal to byte, and then I just overflow my value of a. Now here I just write system dot out dot print line, and which is a. Now I just write system dot out and then print line, which is b. So b is a variable of byte. So now we just execute it and see how it's overflow. So you can see on the terminal end the value of two variables are, one is 130 and one is minus 126. Now we just see the last example of our variable. So here I just write variable 5 dot java. Yes, I just create a new class, and this example is to adding the lower type in the variable. Now here I just write public and static void main, and then here I just write a string and then arguments. Now I just write byte, and byte a is equal to 10, then byte b, which is equal to 10. So here I just write byte, which is equal to c, so c, which is equal to byte, and then I just write a plus b. So byte c, which is equal to a plus b, is compiled that it is the compile time error, because a plus b, which is equal to 20, will be a integer. So now I just write system dot out dot print line, and here I just write c, and now I just execute this program. So we have the expected output, which is 20, because it is the compile time error, because a plus b will be the expected output is 20, because it is the integer. So these are the some example and the types of variables in the Java. Thanks for watching this lecture. See you in next lecture.